G'day, welcome back to another episode of Togl. Hope you've all had a great Christmas. Got lots of presents, spent time with family. I know it was a little bit hard this year doing that with the way COVID and everything's been. Our daughter was supposed to come down and wasn't able to make it, which is really sad. Hopefully we'll get to catch up with her in the new year though. Anyway, let's pick up this video where we left off last week. So the tent that we've had up here, I've had up here for 9-10 months now, set up permanently. I've had my camping gear and that in there. I've been able to stay up here on some nights and whatnot. But yeah, the sun down here is pretty harsh and it's starting to get very faded, a bit brittle, starting to tear. One of the posts is broken. We need to get some of the stuff out. Plus there's a lot of tools and stuff that I've got down in the shipping container and down at the rental that I'm going to want up here as well as we start to build more stuff. So I need to bring some of that stuff up too. Time to build a shed. So what am I doing? I'm sitting on a log at the moment and my back's getting quite warm even though it's a hot day. We're just charring the end of the log. You've seen us do this with other things as well. By charring the end of the log, it when the bugs come through the dirt and whatnot, they hit the charcoal, they're like, nah, don't like the taste of that. They don't tend to bore through. So it does preserve the timber just that little bit longer. So we char the ends of the logs. And as you can see, let me pop up here. There's our other logs ready that we've charred the end of. And we're just charring the end there. Cody's pegging out and he's about to dig some holes for the posts. Essentially that shed's going to be 6 meters by 3 meters. 4 meters, 6 meters by 4 meters it was, sorry, yep. So Cody's just measuring that out. He's going to dig the corner holes. We'll drop the posts in and then we're going to mill up a heap of timber over coming days and actually build a proper frame, proper shed, windows, the whole lot, and put a floor in it and everything. So you will get to see us doing that over the course of this episode. So I'm going to set up some time lapse, get a few bits and pieces done. I'll film Cody digging the holes. Sit back, relax, and hope you enjoy this episode too. Nice work, Code.
That was an effort.
Just a little bit of pruning off some of the dead branches of our trees.
Bit of an arm workout holding that up. Yeah, it hit that and it flexed. I thought it was going to fly back at me and I nearly tripped over.
Yeah. No, good work.
Yeah.
So the tree, as you probably would have seen, hit the fork up there. There's probably too much background light, but there's a lot of bark scuffed up there. But the top snapped off. And there's the top right there. Check that out. Kadunk, straight into the ground like a massive javelin. Yeah, you do not want to be in the way of that sort of thing. So,
about a 20 metre.
Yeah, but just the force of that, the top snapped off and just sheared in. We'll have to have a look back on the video and see whether you actually copped that on the on the video or not on that first bit. But yeah, that just snapped off, fell straight in and jammed. I mean, the ground's soft, but yeah, that's a big piece of timber. Anyway, this is going to be for our 6 metre lengths. So we're going to cut this into some 6 metre lengths, get it up on the mill, and yeah, they'll be our long beams. And then we'll probably even have some excess. So that'll be good. Yep, a lot of this will get used. All right, well, that was exciting getting that big piece of tree down that Cody did. And that was just one branch off of that gum tree, a dead branch. So no problem about taking that off. Anyway, we need to drag it across the swamp. You've seen us drag other logs across the swamp. And I haven't got that big purple 20 metre snatch strap anymore. It ended up in about 3 pieces because it just got all knotted up and it was in the mud, and we just cut it up. So I need to go and get another one because the 2.5 ton breaking strain rope is snapping when we're trying to drag this log, the big section out of it, across the swamp. Shouldn't be a problem with the good snatch strap. So we're going to call it now. It's after 6 p.m. Head home, have some dinner in the morning, shoot down to the store, grab a nice big 20 metre snatch strap, and we should be able to pull that log up through there. That's the 6 metre one, and then we've got a 4 metre length there as well. We'll get them up to the mill up. As soon as we've got them milled up, we've got the beams that we want, then we'll stand these posts in the holes, and then we can put the beams straight on. We were going to stand the posts up. I thought, well, what's the point, because they might lean or whatever. We'll wait until we've got the beams cut that we can get everything bolted in together. So that's the plan for tomorrow. So Cody and I are going to go and probably have a well-earned drink and go and have some dinner. Back again tomorrow, which for you will be in a second. Well, back up on the block here, and today I brought up the Kenyan top bar hives that I'd been making. Cody helped me load them up back at home. I'm up here by myself today, so I'm going to get the tractor to offload them. But what I've just realized when I stopped at the bottom of the paddock to open the gate was coming down through the paddock, One of the legs snapped off. Well, the leg didn't snap off, but the screws pulled out, and that one's just collapsed in. So it looks like half the top bars have fallen out. I think that's only just happened in the paddock that I was coming down through, because I would have noticed that in the rear view mirror. But yeah, obviously those screws weren't quite long enough and the leg has just pulled out. I'll be able to re-screw that back in. It doesn't look like there's too much damage on it, and I'll just have to go back up through the paddock and find all those top bars. But yeah, a bit disappointing that that did that, but like I said, it doesn't look like there's any major damage to it. So yeah, I better go and get the tractor and find those other top bars and get these offloaded. Well, I haven't got the right attachment for the screw. It needs a hex head, so I just belted it in a bit. It's probably going to fall off when I pick it up, but I'll get it off, get it braced up enough, and I'll fix up that leg when I come back again. Well, looks like this one's going to require a little bit of a rebuild. I'm going to have to figure out a better way to transport it. I think it just bounce around the trailer. The one in the back of the car is fine, but this one, I mean, it's nothing major. I just got to re-screw it, that's all. None of this is held with glue. It's only screws, because I didn't want any toxic chemicals in there. So, yeah, I just got to re-screw it. So I'm just taking the roofs off as well, because when I put that strap around, as I go to lift, it's good, the straps will pull in and the roof is quite delicate. So pull the roof off, pick it up. I'm going to use a front bucket for getting out of the back of the car, because that is a bit higher. Well, that was a shit show, wasn't it? Things don't always go to plan. It was too tall on the back, I had to move it down, but in moving it down by myself, it's twisted the legs again, popped those screws, it's all fallen apart. So, I mean, nothing's actually broken, it's just all come unscrewed. I just got to screw it all back together again, but what should have been a 10-minute job is now going to be an hour and a half job. Happens a lot up here. So, I'm going to get to and start putting these back together again. But I won't bother filming that because no need to. You've seen me put them together before. I better get cracking with it because once I'm done here I need to water up the veggies and then I've got to get up and start working on that road again. So I'll see you up the top of the road shortly. Well, looks like we've got another day working on the road here. Now you're probably thinking, what about the shed that you were building? Oh, funny story about that. We went to go and turn on the, start up the sawmill so we could start milling some logs, and I realised that the blade had snapped. It had snapped just sitting there. It's probably been 2 weeks since I'd used it. It shouldn't have done that. There must have been a fault in it. Maybe you're supposed to not leave it under full tension, but the other blades were always under full tension, and sometimes I went 4, 5, 6 weeks or more without using that timber mill, probably even longer. None of those blades snapped. This was a new blade, and after only just a couple of weeks, like I said, we got up there, I went to turn it on, realised that the tensioner was loose, thought that was unusual, looked at the blade was really loose, opened up the covers and it had snapped. So it's Boxing Day today. It's going to be a while before I can get a new blade because I need to get them posted in. I do order them in. I don't think there's anywhere local to buy them. So I'm going to be waiting a while for that blade. So while we're waiting for the blade and then we can get on with the shed, I'm just going to keep clearing. So 2 days ago, day before Christmas, I was up here, cleared another good section. There's a few little trees down here that I'm going to need to clear out before I start cutting some more. So I'll get that cleared out, and then we'll get the chainsaw started up. And we'll start getting some more trees down. Oh, I did forget to mention too. Check these out. I got these for Christmas. These are snake-proof gaiters. So this from the knee down is really, really thick. Snake definitely won't be biting through that. And then it's just soft material up the top, hooks on to my belt just to keep them up. But yeah, there's no snake going to be biting through that now. So really appreciative of that. One of my Christmas presents. So that's going to keep me safer up here. It wasn't quite where I wanted it to go. It was about 10 degrees off, but at least it didn't go across the fence or back on the camera. I'll take that as a win. Well, today has been one of those days that get sent to test you. Had that incident with the beehives this morning, and I mean that's easy fixed, but still it's more time that's going to be needed to fix that. It's been blowing a gale all day, as you can probably hear. Apologies for that. And so then when I was chopping down some of the logs up there, the logs that were already down, I was cutting, and one of the logs shifted a little bit, pinched the bar on the chainsaw, so I got the second chainsaw to free it, and as it came free, the log moved. Did that to my bar, so it's pinched it, pushed it up against the tree as it rolled and bent that one, so I'm going to have to get a new bar. I mean, the chainsaw motor still runs, the chain's fine, I'm just going to have to buy a new bar. Hopefully the chainsaw place will be open tomorrow and I can get it. So then I was down to one chainsaw, so cutting more, and then a little clip that's inside it holds the sprocket on, in underneath the cover where the chain goes around. The clip popped off. Sent the sprocket flying. I don't know where the sprocket is, I couldn't find it. I only found a washer, but I'm going to have to order some parts for that one, so that's two chainsaws down. I thought I'll get some brush cutting done, so I got stuck in there. I was clearing away a heap of bracken, and then the blade stopped spinning on that, so I don't know whether I've sheared the shaft or done something to that. I'm going to have a look and see what's going on with that. 3 machines down. Yeah, and I'm buggered too. I've had enough. I'm going to get the drone out. I'm going to show you how far we've cleared so far. We're getting close. I can actually see through the trees the paddock, the cow paddock, so we're well and truly over halfway there, which is fantastic to know, but we've still got a push ahead of us. So I'm going to go home, have a beer, relax a bit. Tomorrow I'm going to have to try and get some of these fixed, put in orders, get some parts, because as you know, the timber mill's out of action as well until I can get a new blade for that. It's like everything's just gone, so I'm in that final straight. Everything seems to be getting in my way, but things are sent to test us. Just keep pushing through. We'll get there. So I hope you enjoy this little bit of drone footage anyway. I'll get that up and I'll show you the road as it exists so far. It's only clearing. We've not really leveled any dirt. I'm going to need to get a dozer in to do that more than likely. But it gives you an idea of where the road's going to go. Well, that's it for this episode. And that's it for the year too. What a year it's been. I've certainly learned a lot. We've achieved a lot. There's a lot more to go yet though. So for those of you who have been following this for the whole year, well done to you. Good on you for sticking with it. No, I hope you've really enjoyed it. I've had fun making these videos as well. So it is New Year's Eve. Set some resolutions. Let's hope that next year is a better year for everyone. Let's hope that a lot of this COVID nonsense gets itself sorted out and we start getting back to the way things were, being able to travel freely and see each other and whatnot. Be nice. Anyway, sorry about that drone footage. It was a little bit shaky. Man, that wind was blowing so hard, I really struggled to control it. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you've enjoyed all the episodes this year. And I will be back with a new episode next year. So I will see you then. I hope you have a great night. Take it easy. See you next week. Cheers.